So, funny story with these things. These started out in 1953, and they shared a chassis with the Buick Roadmaster and the Oldsmobile 98s, and they were always kind of like the top of the line for the Cadillac world. And then in the late 50s, they got even bigger, and they changed. They had an Eldorado Brougham, and that was something that was almost Rolls-Royce, kind of like beyond Rolls-Royce. It was a hand-built car. It was $10,000. To give you an idea, a Rolls-Royce at the time was $9,000, and Cadillac still lost money on every one of them they built. Those cars, interesting in the collector car world, had no value for the longest time. When I say no value, they're like $25,000 for a while. Just last week, one of those cars sold for $190,000. So they're starting to come into the classic car world. But those are like big old cars. This is like the quintessential cool. Bill Mitchell did some really cool stuff at General Motors, but this was one of the coolest things he ever did in his time here. Like, my aunt, I always talk about my aunt in the Boogie Down Bronx that used to have cars like this. She had one that was a 1970. The lights were a bit different. Frankly, not as pretty as this car. This is just so much more elegant. You know, you can see rolling up to Frank Sinatra's house, his compound in Palm Springs where he had the pirate flag up when he was in and drinks were on. This is the kind of thing you turn up in. This was a complete and utter departure. It went from a rear drive car to a front drive car, but did that mean fuel economy? Not exactly. It's a 429 V8. The owner of this car, George, he restored this thing with his own two hands in his own garage. He bought it for $250. It didn't look anything like this. This was complete and utter sweat equity to make it look like this. He did modify the exhaust. It's got a cross-flow dual exhaust and glass packs in the back that act as a resonator. Now, as cool as it is that George literally invested sweat equity to make this car look like this, what's really unique and important is look at the lines. You don't get to see them like this. And by seeing it in this condition, you get to see what Bill Mitchell and his team were going for. You get to see the detail in the hubcap. You get to see the detail in the chrome. You even get to see the detail on the roof. Like, this is painted. That is factory. It was supposed to be that way, not the vinyl all the way through. And what's really interesting about these things now, you're starting to see more of them come to Concours and auction in this condition. And the main reason why people didn't invest the kind of money, because let's say I'm not George and I don't have my own garage at home, to do this kind of work, it would cost you about $100,000 or more to make this car look like this in this condition. Our friends at Hagerty, like Dave Kinney, will tell you these are only worth, in this condition, about $50,000. So if I'm going to give you some advice here, I would suggest buying these things now before they become $200,000. This is George.
Hey.
So how do you feel to know that your car's going to be worth $200,000 in 10 years?
That sounds great. 10 years, huh?
10 years,
Can you guarantee that?
Yeah, do you think your wife will actually believe you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. How many shoes did she throw at you when you were putting this thing in?
Actually, she's a car person too.
Really?
Her father had Model A's and worked on those cars. And
but you educated her that you got to have a Cadillac now.
I think it was a family project. When my kids were young, we bought this car as a basket, like you said.
Yeah.
And we all worked on it to give him experience to work on a car.
But George here, he needed a hell of a lot of therapy, because how many Cadillacs you got?
I have 3 Cadillacs.
This is the story behind this car. Thank you, George.
Thank you very much.
So click here to watch one of our 250 other episodes. Okay. Click here to subscribe. And can we ask you guys a favor? Can you watch these within the first 36 hours? Because it gets us more views, which gets us more dollars, which gets you more episodes. And of course, follow us, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time.